Good afternoon, people. Always Sunday the 10th, a little variation on the TTR homestead. Today we are going to be making homebrew. It's the time of year to get yourselves out there and harvest what nature provides. So, big bottle, big tub with a screw top lid. Plastic ware, you can use plastic. Stainless is okay. But normal metal will turn your fruit juice, instead of into alcohol, it'll turn it into vinegar. So we don't bother with any cadmium tablets for the sterilisation or such. Plenty boiling water. So I'm about to mash up a large selection of plums I've gathered. Finnar, and we will put them in this bucket. And I'll show you a little bit after we've done that. Everything gets rinsed out with boiling water. The key to alcoholic production is sterile. And the best sterilizer in the world is your good old-fashioned kettle of boiling water. More to follow. So yeah, it's a kind of dreich day in Galloway. The rain's just coming on. We still have to find something to do. Rachel's on guard for the vermin. And here's what I have harvested. The rule of thumb for making homebrew is, if you wouldn't put it in your mouth, you don't put it in your brew. So, that doesn't fit. And as I go through them, anything that's rotten won't make the cut. So there's a nice pile of plums there, finnar, and we'll show you the next stage just shortly. Okay, only 5 minutes later at this stage. So I've decided to use Margie's rolling pin rather than my plunger because they're actually a little bit harder to burst into the thing. So that's what the pulped up plums look like. A little tricky tip, if you can get one of these like white, see-through, like air pass-through Hessian bags, put that in your bucket. Because when you come to strain all the rubbish off your juice, you just pull that out, squish it, and it keeps all the crap in the bag and gives you all the lovely alcoholic sugary beverage. Again, toasted in boiling water. When you add the water to your brew, it's not to be boiling, it's just to be lukewarm, but we'll get to that later. I'm back. Just a wee quick addendum. Now I nearly made a basic error here because when they weren't wet, you see all that lovely sheen in them? That's natural yeast. You don't want to lose that. So I've left them in the rain, that could get washed off, so we need to keep that. So I'll cover them back up. That was all. Oh, right. 3 hours later, we have all our mulch in there. I've just added 4 pounds of sugar in tepid water. Now this is the bit if you want to do this properly and you don't want to be a shoppy person. So, to make it, you need the natural yeast in the fruit. You need tannin. Tannin comes from a big mug of tea. You need citric acid, which is the lemon squeezed into it. You need peptides, as taking the seeds out of the lemon, crushing them, and throwing them in your brew. Trust me, brothers, you do not need anything other than that to make wine. Fruit, sugar, yeast. Sugar and yeast come naturally. You need the tannin from the tea. You need the citrus and the peptides from your lemon. Remember, squeeze your lemon juice into your brew. Take out your seeds, crush them with a rolling pin, pop them in your brew. You have everything in that bucket now to make you a homebrew wine. We shall be back in touch. Aye, okay then. You've ultimately got to prepare for every eventuality. So, the modern lemon is so inbred or GM modified that out of that lemon, for my peptides, I have one seed and 2 little gremlin seeds. So on this occasion, when I used to use, you'd get like 6 seeds out of that lemon. Now you get 1 and 2 little baby ones. So I may have to artificially add peptides, okay? But the peptide should have come out of like 6 little lemon seeds there. Right, I'll shut up now. Righty ho. So now that you've made your mash, which we call the brew, you need to sit it with a reasonable heat source beside it or under it. You can buy winemaking mats for about 4 to 5 days. My match is tolerant of all this stuff. So then after that you then go on to the transfer into demijohns after this. Righty-ho then, forget the bleach, it's got nothing to do with it. So we have now had our brew in the tub for 4 days. It's been sitting beside the radiator, I can hear it fizzing away, so the yeast is working. So these demijohns, you just clean them out. You can lie in the garden all year obviously. Then again, just rinse them thoroughly with boiling water. All these items here, this is your airlocks, this is your corks, this is your siphoning tube. The peg is a very important piece of kit. And put some fresh sugar, dissolve some fresh sugar in boiling water just to prime your demijohns. All this has to be sterilised again in boiling water. Critical phase where everything must be sterile. You get me? So we'll tip that cold water out of there. They've been rinsed. You can use cadmium tablets to sterilise, if you so choose. And we'll sterilise these 3 demijohns and we'll take you on to the next phase. So pop your airlocks on your corks and pour boiling water down the top. Do that to them all. The hot water will go right through to the bottom. Fill it all round. Okay, so all this stuff has now been totally drenched inside and out with boiling water. I can't impress on you enough how much, if you don't take your time and make sure everything's sterile, you will end up with demijohns full of fine vinegar. Right, I'll set up the next phase and bring you back in. Right, we're on to the next level. So, everything's been sterilised. Okay, so you then set up a basic siphoning system, gravity fed. All the ruby dooby goos in there. And you want to do this relatively quickly, because you don't want air mixing with your booze, because you get vinegar. So, let's go. They're sterilised and primed with some sugar. The fresh goose in there. Fill up your demijohns. All happy with the siphoning system, yeah. Cool. The most critical point in the whole gig. Keeping that close peg, keeping your tube steady in the barrel will save an awful lot of faffing about of your tube coming out. Okay. And that is pretty funky though, eh? We like funky at Tumble Tower Racing and general shenanigans. And dinner! After back-breaking amount of putrefying the plums, we now have ourselves 2 gallons. 4.4 litres times 2 is 9 litres of fluid, which will probably make you about 6 litres of wine. Probably could have done it cheaper in the shop, but hey, this is TTR. So what we do over the next few days is we'll put it back on a heat source, but you watch these little beasties, and once the existing yeast reactivates with the fresh sugar that we put in there, that'll start to glug. And your entire house will smell like a stinking brewery. Fortunately, I have Madge, who's extremely tolerant of all my little nonsense things. There you go. 2 demijohns of plum wine, which will be ready, oh God, whenever it's ready, really. Does it really matter? As I say, the key thing if you want to save a bit of labour is this bag, because I didn't have to suck out all the pips and rubbish, because I put all the stuff in the bag before we put it in the barrel. So all the rubbish is totally in there. There's fluid left there, it'll probably make half a damage on it, but I can't be arsed. There you go. Plum wine in the autumn. More to follow. And once we've bottled it, put it in the demijohns, transfer it back to your heat source. Air and cover's perfect. Next to radiator's fine. And this we just bottled 10-15 minutes ago. Will be glugging. Here you go. If it's glugging, it's brewing. You can obviously control how fast it glugs by how hot you let it get. If you can get a bubble every 3, 4, 5 seconds like that, that'd be perfect. But you leave that big gap there in the top of the bottle just in case it takes off. Just stop it spewing all over your house. Because these things can get a bit feisty. Okay? More to follow in about, 6 to 8, 10, 9 months, something like that. Who cares? Gurgling away perfectly.
These are amazing.